What's up, my fellow YouTubies? Welcome back to the channel of Mike the Great Studios. Just yesterday evening, I had actually gotten out of the theater seeing Creed 3. My parents are actually people who grew up watching the Rocky franchise and watched through a bunch of those movies like 10 or 20 times, but I'm actually not somebody who has watched through all the movies all that much, and I actually just sat down and watched through them actually about a month ago, all of those first 5 movies, and now I actually kind of dug it. Like, I realized that I had spent all those wasted years without looking at the drama, the story, and the nostalgia of the franchise, and this one really, I think, built off of the franchise on so many levels. And I think that the Creed movies are just like as A plus, like right in that same mid category as the Rocky movies. Whereas some spin-off trilogies or stuff like the Star Wars, whether you're talking about the stuff like the Star Wars sequel trilogy or the Fantastic Beasts movies or something like that. Some of the spin-off trilogies that spin off from other franchises, they don't work all that well. The Creed movies, I think, I've been doing very great, almost 100 times better than some of the Rocky movies had in the 80s, just because they have been doing a pretty good job at making the villains, and I guess I shouldn't say villains, the opponents, just a little bit more sympathetic, and actually kind of giving a little bit more depth and like kind of a backstory. And I think that obviously the Creed movies have put that all together like pretty nicely. And I guess for starters, I'll say when I first heard that they were making this movie, I mean, when I had first seen the trailers and when I was getting ready for it, I wasn't too crazy about no involvement from Sylvester Stallone. Just because obviously the standout from this entire franchise is Rocky Balboa himself. And seeing this movie without Stallone, I was actually curious as to how that would work and if I would still really enjoy the movie. But really, when I went to go see this movie, I actually forgot that Stallone wasn't even in it. Like, I actually really enjoyed the movie. Was still pretty great and pretty big A tier even without Rocky in it. So I maybe they could have like told us a little bit more about like where Rocky was at. I wasn't entirely clear whether they killed him off or not. But the movie still worked pretty great even without Stallone, even without Rocky. Obviously I think Michael B. Jordan made a fantastic director, even starring in this movie, taking that next leap, like those stepping out from Sylvester's footsteps. Like, since I know that Sylvester, I'm pretty sure directed the first 2 Rocky movies, at least I think he did, and Michael B. Jordan directed this movie, and the way he put the drama and all that together it went down like pretty well. And obviously the big standout in this movie, I would say, was also Dame Anderson, because I think that Dame Anderson is probably like the best opponent, one of the best opponents from the entire franchise. I guess I won't say entirely still. I actually still have a couple of other movies to catch up. I haven't seen Rocky Balboa yet, but overall, because he ties into Adonis's past and the backstory, there was actually a nice way where they can make him sympathetic, and we can actually buy into why he has this passion and this reputation that he wants to bring in, just because of all the trauma that he lived throughout the past with him locked up and all that drama going on throughout the past. Therefore, like, in fact, as I was watching through the fight, even though we're not really rooting for this guy to win, even though we kind of hate this guy for that little encounter that he did right in the middle of the movie, we still kind of care about him. And I think that that he pulled off the performance pretty well. Jonathan Majors, I really think this is his year. Like, Ant-Man and the Wasp, I wasn't as crazy as his performance in this movie as I was in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, or Loki, but I think Jonathan Majors is really starting to step into the spotlight. This might actually be his year in film entirely. And cinematically. So I really enjoyed him in this movie. I really thought that he was the big standout. And so there were also a couple of nice action fights scenes inside of that last fight. Even though I had only seen it once, I think that Michael B. Jordan had put in some nice little shots for them to use throughout the movies. I can't really make out some of those, but I mean, the way he visualized it was actually pretty cool. So whereas even though this one the emotions didn't like pop out to me like as well as they did in some of the Rocky movies, but I still think that this movie was like an A plus for like both sports movies and Creed all together. So I think that I don't know whether to say that it makes much of a even though I wouldn't say it makes much of a conclusion to the Rocky Creed series, it still makes for a great conclusion to the trilogy, like just all together. So I really enjoyed this movie. You should definitely check it out. And not much for me to say about it. I would say this is probably like an 8 out of 10 for me. Not 9.5, not 9.5 out of 10 for me. So be sure to like and subscribe if you like this video. I might even do a ranking of the Rocky movies. Let me know what you think of the Rocky movies down below in the comments, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.